So, one of the first types of assisted reproduction or assisted reproductive technologies is test tube baby. Now, test tube baby involves a procedure that is called in vitro fertilization and embryo transfer. You all know the meaning of in vitro. In vitro means a process that happens not within the natural or bodily conditions but happens in laboratory setup, in a laboratory condition. So, in vitro fertilization, what happens? The sperm collected from the male and the egg that is harvested from the female, both of them are placed in a petri dish in an artificial medium, and the sperm is allowed to fertilize the egg. Once the sperm fertilizes the egg, we obtain a zygote. So in the first step, what is done is either the zygote is taken, that is obtained by this procedure, or an embryo which has less than 8 blastomeres. So remember, either the zygote or the zygote is allowed to develop into an embryo which has less than 8 blastomeres, and this stage of the embryo is transferred directly into the fallopian tube of the recipient woman, and this phenomenon, this process is called zygote intrafallopian transfer. So always remember, in zygote intrafallopian transfer, you either transfer the zygote or an embryo less than 8 blastomeres. What if the embryo has developed into a stage where it has more than 8 blastomeres, where it has 16 to 32 blastomeres? Then what you do is you transfer this embryo not into the fallopian tube of the recipient but directly in the uterus of the recipient. Since it is transferred directly to the uterus, it is referred to as intrauterine transfer. So ZIFT and intrauterine transfer are the two variations or modifications of the in vitro fertilization and embryo transfer. So remember, the stage of the embryo in which the transfer is made and the site to which it is transferred is the difference between ZIFT and intrauterine transfer. The world's first test tube baby was Louise Joy Brown, who was a girl, and she was born in England on July 25th, 1978. Well, who pioneered this technique of test tube baby? It was pioneered by a team that was led by two doctors, Dr. Patrick Steptoe and Dr. Robert Edwards. However, when we come to India, in India, the first ever test tube baby was Kumari Harsha, and she was a girl born on August 6th of 1986 in Mumbai, KEM Hospital of Mumbai, and it was supervised by a doctor called Dr. Indira Hinduja.